Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of Hello World. So I was on here earlier. Believe it or not, I was on the wrong channel. I was live on the wrong channel. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when you have two different shows and you don't look at what you're doing or whatever. Anyway, I was into this whole big conversation and I was on the wrong channel. But anyway, welcome. I hope you had a great day. My day was decent. I can't complain. Um, I went to the gym tonight and I tried this new class. It's called Bootylicious. And I befriended a few people at the gym and I was like, please, 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 let's do this. Let's do this class. Just 5 minutes, please, please, please. And we kind of did the same class together from time to time. And they went and we did it. And they did this one song that started the whole thing. It was like, love, come down. Mm-mm. Ooh, you make my love come down. Love all around. That is my song. I felt like I was at a cookout. I felt like I was getting it in. It was wonderful. So then they turned on another song that I really didn't know or was familiar with. So I kind of just said, okay, it's time to go. Because I wanted to make sure I saved some time for you guys. I was I was on earlier. Trust me, I was on earlier, but I was on the wrong channel. So just again, shout out to all of you who are here and joining me tonight. I want to talk about depression. And please chime in if you're in the chat room or want to join the chat. But I want to know, would you be willing to admit that you've ever been depressed? Also, if you notice that, the scenery changed a little bit, I upgraded. So you should be able to see me a little bit more clearly. I'm still working on getting it crisp so that I can see you clear and you can see me clear. Oh, hey, lady, how are you? Wow. Um, do you ever want to, hey, do you want to call in and talk about it? It's up to you. But I feel like there are different degrees of depression that people go through. There's some that are clinical, there's some that are caused because of a traumatic situation. Then there's some that, maybe I believe could have been passed on from hereditary traits that we all carry. So, believe it or not, there are traits in our genes that are carried along. And if we are not aware of what our history is, then house is too loud. No problem, no problem. But thank you for joining anyway. I appreciate it. Feel free to share your thoughts. People may be relieved from whatever you have to say. But um, with depression, I feel like people who are not depressed should be paying attention to those family members. Maybe your friend or family member may have their personality may changed a little bit. Maybe their eating habits have changed. Maybe um, the way they sleep, their sleeping patterns may have changed. Maybe their moods have changed. Maybe they may start having mood swings. So you just never know what somebody is going through. And I think it's very important that we pay attention to each other, pay attention to each other's needs and our patterns. As far as me, yeah, I've suffered from a little bout of depression, and it's usually caused by things that I can't control. And I think when you cannot control a situation, you can do two things: either just move on, or depending on how you feel about the situation, you get down because you can't control what's going on. So, you know, one thing about life is we do try to control a lot of things that we're not supposed to control. Um, Let me see, when was I depressed? Let's see. Wow, I could say I got depressed when I lost a loved one. And it wasn't the fact that they were gone. It was more so like, man, I'm never going to see you again. I'm never going to be able to do this. So, like, you're never going to ever drive with me. You're never ever going to see me get married if I ever get married. You're never ever going to see me have kids if I adopt or have children. Like, those are the things that kind of got me down and maybe had me stuck for for a second or two, like, wow, this is for real. Um, but I think for those who may be going through depression or suffering depression, the best thing to do is not hold it in. Talk to somebody. Even if you even if you say to yourself, there's no one that can understand, like, I can't talk to anybody. I just don't have the courage, the strength to talk to anybody. Yes, you do. If you have the strength to say, I don't have the courage or the strength to talk to somebody, you do. Pick up the phone, right? Pick up the phone, call somebody, and just start talking. Start pouring your heart out. Like, I'm talking about somebody that you trust. Start pouring your heart out. And hopefully they'll understand that you are trying to express how bad you may be feeling. I think that would be a great way to start coming out of that feeling of hopelessness. You know, I think we all go through a feeling of hopelessness. Like sometimes, like you just feel like there's no hope, there's no turning left or right. Like there's nothing that can possibly get you out of the state that you're feeling, but there is. And it's through communicating with people. It's through sharing your stories. You believe it or not, the more we share our stories with each other, the more we realize that we're not so different and that, hey, I just went through the same situation too. You just never know. You never know. So I think it's important that we talk. And if any of you have been following any of the series or the shows that I've been doing, you'll notice that that's a trend that I keep on saying and reiterating over and over again. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk. The more we talk, the less likely people may want to give up because then you realize, hey, there are other humans out here who go through the same situations as me. You know, never be afraid to share with a trusted person or trusted people, maybe a professional, who knows, but never be afraid to show and express your feelings. Like, listen, at some point in time, we all just say enough is enough. We get up and we start moving. It's at that point in time where you need to start saying, I need help. There's different medications that you can take to help you as well. Hopefully, it doesn't go that bad or go that far where you would need to take medication. But if you do, there's nothing wrong with that either. Some of us do need that extra help, that extra boost. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, talking will relieve a lot of that built up pressure that's holding you down, that's keeping you in that state. You know what I mean? Um, I can thankfully say that I haven't been depressed over long periods of times, but the time that I was, I tell you, like it was painful. It was painful. Like I didn't like I remember okay, here's a perfect example. I remember I did this to myself too. I said, you know what, I was already feeling down. And I said, you know what, let me see who actually cares about me. And I turned my phone off and I didn't communicate with anybody. I went to work, my phone was off. And I was like, you know what, man, nobody's calling me. I was like, you say these crazy things in your head. Well, not crazy. You say these things in your head, like nobody's calling, but your phone is off, Joy. Your phone is off. How can people call you and reach you? And then I'll be home and I'll be like, well, if somebody cares, then they'll actually come to come and visit me. And I will say that the one person that I least expected to check on me actually did. And they said, you know what? I was worried about you. Don't ever keep your phone off that long. I knew something was wrong. And they said, I sent somebody over to check on you. And I was like, wow, of all the people in the world, you were the least likely person that I expected to check on me. And if it kind of alleviated that, but I just started doing it to myself. It started feeling good to like have that feeling of, oh, well, somebody needs to check on me or nobody's checking on me. And it made me feel it made me feel like, okay, well, there's no reason for me to communicate with people. That's how it works. It starts breaking you down little by little. That's why I say how communication is important. If you have friends, family members that you speak to on a regular basis and all of a sudden they just drop off the face of the earth, in your opinion, what is not normal, then you need to reach out to them. Go to their house. If they're not answering the phone, don't think that they're busy. Go to their house. Bang on that door. Bang on that door. Open that door and see what's going on inside because you never know. You may walk into something that's perfectly fine, or I don't need to say any more about that, but you know, this is what happens when you allow depression to go too far. It could lead to places that nobody wants to go, you know? So I think that we should definitely start paying attention more to what's going on with people. We should definitely start paying attention to how people are acting, you know? Especially if it's someone you care about. You can read it in people's faces sometimes. You can read in people's faces when things don't seem to be going like normal, you know? So I thank God for that person who, reached out to me and was like, I sent somebody over to bang on your door. Because if in the end, it made me feel good, like, wow, somebody cares about me. Even though I know people care about me, but that's what depression does. You already know people care about you, but because you're already in that place, that sunken place, you just need that extra push, right? So thankfully, I haven't felt that way in a very long time. I do know if I start to spiral out, I know a few people that I can probably contact and reach out to. I'll even go to the gym because the gym for me is a place where, I can exercise and then I'll be like, okay, things are better. Cause then I start focusing on other things like working out. And then I start seeing people, and then people start talking to you. And then for those few moments, that feeling is gone. Whatever you were depressed about is gone, you know? So I don't know. I just think we should definitely pay attention more, um, reach out more, find out your history, your family history, to see if that's something that has been prevalent in your family traits. Could go from mother to daughter to son, could skip a generation and come back to you. You never know. Anything is possible, you know? Anything is possible. Anyway, I feel like if you ever, at the end of the day, if you ever suffer from depression, and you feel like you have no hope, just trust me. I believe you will come through it fine. I believe you'll come through stronger. And whatever purpose that you have in your life that you're supposed to do, just keep that in the forefront of your mind that you can do it. You can do it. You can beat whatever is trying to keep you down. You can definitely be an overcomer. Your story will help others that are in need. You will end up loving more and appreciating life more. So just hold on a little longer. Pick up the phone, call somebody, call anybody, dial numbers and see if anybody picks up, and just start talking. Start shedding whatever is bothering you. But whatever you do, just talk. Don't ever, ever take for granted the fact that you still have the power to change anything. Change anything from bad to okay to great. Just know that depression will not define you. Depression never defines you, and you will always be on top. You are determined. You are powerful. You are successful. You are loved. You are love. Just never, ever, ever let depression keep you down. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that for tonight. I hope that you have the beautiful rest of your week, and may you always have love in your heart pouring out of your soul so that we all can start healing together. Okay. So from me to you, I want to say thank you for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Hello